This is Meredith McCormick with the Roger Sherman Building Committee. This is our meeting on March 2nd at 7 p.m. I'll give it over to Chairman Lang.
All right. This is Eric Lang. The meeting is formally called to order. The first item on the agenda is an update on the project closeout from Colliers. Mark, you want to?
Yep. Thanks, Eric. Yep. Mark Schweitzer, Colliers. Real quickly, the bulk of my stuff is down in to act on. I don't know if we want to discuss the PCOs now or down there, but real briefly on the closeout, the as-built drawings went to DPW. They have them in with City Hall for sign-off, so that should close out the site work portion that was completed the previous summer. The diversity has submitted their mechanical as-built, which was one of the outstanding items for as of last meeting. They have submitted them to the building officials also after the review from Silver Petroselli, and they are awaiting the official sign-off from the building official upon his review. I guess the thing we can do with the invoice is make it contingent upon receiving the the written CO, but that should be the other open item was the lights on stage, and that's a PCO that we have for later in the evening. And other than that, they have completed their items and they have submitted their final rec. So,
Mark, is the final C of O contingent on the acceptance of the mechanical as-built? Is that what I understood?
They want to review them to make sure that they're not getting that they're getting what they saw out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And those have already been reviewed by Silver Petroselli.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I guess that wasn't clear in the last meeting. I thought it seemed like all the the final inspection had occurred, and we were just waiting for the paperwork to go through.
Correct.
Or we were just waiting on, I guess, the official letter from the town. But now it sounds like they were actually waiting for these as-built.
That's They wanted they want as-built in their possessions to issue the C of O.
Who's making that final decision?
As far as signing this C of O, the building official and the fire marshal.
Yeah, but I'm asking his name.
Mike. He's the. I believe it's Mike Clemente.
Right, because there's been some changes.
Yes.
As you're probably aware, at this point, there's quite a bit of a change in that structure.
Yes, since
as well
January
as
1.
And the new consultants that are involved that used to be the building official.
But I believe Mike. I believe Mike has been there. He is the mechanical inspector, I believe.
Right. All right. That's why I don't know. Okay. So he's somebody that's been in there for a while, then apparently, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
He's been there since I've been in Fairfield, so 2.5 years at least.
But we have some major changes in some of our people that are approving stuff nowadays, as you've got to be aware. Yeah. So.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I don't know if this Chairman. I don't know if this is the appropriate time to bring it up, but I will. We can address it later on if it becomes an invoice item, which it might. As far as the lighting fixtures, it's like a figure that came out of where? Is it? Seems like a lot of money to me. But, Kyle, did you take a look at that? And how do you feel about that?
Why don't we address that under the, because that's one of the change orders,
invoices,
right, Mark?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, that's going to be my question. Back when we get to that, it's going to be my question. Okay, Mark.
All right.
And Eric.
Sorry, I was on mute.
So
yes.
Okay. I'll keep quiet until we get to that point then, unless something else comes to mind. All right.
All right.
It's Meredith.
Continue,
so
Mark. Continue.
Just so everyone knows, Christine Vitale has joined the call.
Okay. Hi, Christine. Okay. Mark, anything else?
No.
All right. Any additional questions for Mark from the committee? Okay.
Other than what I have in abeyance, no.
Okay.
It's sitting in the queue, Rick.
All
right.
All right. Next item on the agenda is an update from Silver Petroselli. Dave, are you on?
I am. David Stein, Silver Petroselli. Mark gave you pretty much the update on where we are with the progress and closeout procedures. There's not much more or any additional to report on. Obviously, able to answer any questions on process and so forth. So I'm here for questions, but not much more to report other than just echo what Mark presented.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Dave, if I may, and only because I enjoyed the experience on this particular project with you. You're not involved in the roofing project that we just awarded you guys, are you? Or is that's not your forte?
Yeah, well, no, I'm the sort of principal in charge in the firm working on many of Fairfield's projects. So yes, I will be involved. I will be involved in that, yes.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that because I've been appreciative of your efforts and activities on behalf of Roger Sherman, and I'm glad to hear that, especially since we awarded you that rather major contract for the roofs and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I heard that. So thank you. Yep. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Good. As well as I. Sorry if that's inappropriate at this point, but I just wanted to know whether David was involved in it. And I'm happy to hear that he is, because now I know I don't have as much of a worry as. Not that I have one. Okay, I'll just shut up.
All right. Well, I will second Richard's praises of Silver Petroselli and their performance on this project. So, any other questions for Dave from the committee? All right.
Nope.
So moving right along. Next item on the agenda is to consider and act upon the following items. First item being the minutes from the regular meeting of January 5th, 2021. I'll make a motion to approve these minutes. Do I have a second?
Ms. Jen, I'll second.
Thank you, Jenna. Any comments from the committee on these minutes? All right, not hearing any. All those in favor of approval, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. Next item is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of February 16th, 2021. I'll make a motion to approve these minutes. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Rich. Any comments from the committee? All right, not hearing any. All those in favor of approval say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous. Next item is change orders. All right, so Mark, do you want to lead us through the change orders, starting with a response to Rich's earlier question?
Yes. This the PR was issued, and Yankee provided the proposal. It was vetted by myself and Silver Petroselli's electrical engineer. It is for 8 lights and 2 3-way switches, one on each side of the stage. So depending on where you enter from, you can always switch the lights on. And it's for 8 LED fixtures hung from the roof. And it's the disposal of the existing light bar that is there.
Okay, so I guess to start with, just as a point of clarification, is this a change order to the agreement we already have in place with Yankee for the exterior work that they did a couple summers ago, or is this a new?
This would be the contract. I believe is still open, so we could probably use it as a change order to that contract.
Okay.
They are the school's on-call electrician also.
Mm-hmm.
When we use it as a change order, the contractor gets to participate in what I would call a reward. So it becomes less than a moot point of what Eric just asked. Can this be run under a different way? Not that I'm looking to nickel and dime this thing, but I'm asking the question.
It can. I mean, it's up. It's ultimately up to Gerald as far as does he want to issue another PO for this, or if he wants to do it as a change order to the original contract.
Is Gerald in attendance tonight?
I thought.
Yeah, this is Gerald Foley. I'm on. So we could do it either way. I mean, it might be cleaner just to issue a new PO if that's what we decide, as opposed to trying to add it to the other one. I'm
always, as a Fairfield taxpayer, I'm always looking to, but I'm not. If we're talking about nickels and dimes, then I'm not. There's a certain amount of cost and time and effort that I can understand as a business owner, so give me your answer, Gerald, straight.
I could do it either way. I mean, it's going to take probably the same amount of time, whether to issue a new order or to do a change to the existing.
Or what are we talking about money-wise? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think it was $7,500 in that range for the. Yeah.
7,345.
Yeah, so I rounded up. Sorry. Yeah, 7,345.
So by a non-change order, what do we save?
I think he quoted it just as. My understanding is it looks like he's quoted it as a standalone project. So I didn't see any different any differential.
And included in that.
I would agree with
working
that.
Saturdays.
I mean, it's the way the proposal is written. It's just a lump sum, Rich. He doesn't really go into. I think what you're referring to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the the additional markups that are afforded to change orders
exactly.
as opposed to
right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Right. Whether that's baked into this number or not, I don't know. Does anyone, Mark, do you know?
This is
that
Sal.
Asked of him or? Yeah, Sal.
Hi, Eric. Hi, Eric. This is Sal.
Hey, Sal.
Hi. I don't think you're going to get a markup on a markup because I think what Rich is referring to is if Yankee was working directly for diversity, Yankee would put a markup on it and diversity would put a markup on it. Yankee we contracted directly with, so his markup is he's allowed his normal
it's already there,
markup
Sal.
on it.
Yeah.
So there's not a double markup on this.
Okay, all right. That's what you got it right.
He was our second prime contractor.
Gotcha. Okay. Your answer, I'm just looking like I'm looking. Always to save money for the town. Okay. Understood how to ask the question. Thank you for the answer. So I would, if voting on it, I would vote to approve as submitted. So,
Mark,
so
can you answer Rich's previous question of does this seem like a lot of money for 8 LED lights and 2 switches?
No. For Saturday work and for 8 working off high ladders off the ceiling, for bringing it down from the ceiling, no.
So okay. Yeah, but you did answer it in a way because you just said for Saturday work. So now we're at time and a half automatically.
Well, the next break is in April. I mean,
I'm not questioning I'm not questioning the reason for it being done on time and a half. I'm just saying part of what's caught my eye is that we're paying a premium rate for labor at this point. It sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. I got a good eye. That's all I can tell you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
and you're right. I mean, at first glance, Rich, you figure you've got 10 points, 8 lights, 2 switches. It's $734 a point, which is high for sure.
But, just as a homeowner, I just see, okay, I won't belabor it. Yes, so there is a foundation for my question. It's been answered. It was done on premium time. Now I know how it got up to where it got up to. All right.
I mean,
thank you.
We could see it. It kind of goes to the school also. We can see if he can do it over April break and save the time and a half.
No. This dragged out long enough. Let's get home. Let's get out of here. Okay. Everybody wants this to end. In our time, we're volunteers, but we're taking a lot of our time beyond what would be reasonable as far as I'm concerned. But that's my own opinion, and worth absolutely nothing.
Sorry, Rich. Can I just ask where this came from? Because obviously it's a necessary improvement, and the school needs that upgrade in the lighting in the stage. But it, as a purchase order, why was it something we didn't consider in the beginning, and how it just came up out of nowhere recently?
Who's asking that,
Meredith? That question. It's Dave.
Yeah.
That was Jenna.
That was Jenna.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Hi, Jenna. David Stein. I'll answer the question. If you recall, we had the stage, your current stage, as part of an ad alternate.
Right.
That ad alternate was not exercised, so the only work associated in that room was the HVAC work, but not any of the electrical work or the lighting. So all diversity had within their base scope, and some of this was a tad of contention. They provided a general work light. It was a little petty, but they didn't have. That work was interpreted because it was part of that alternate. It wasn't executed. So to Rich's point, the reason why we went to Yankee is to avoid the general contractor markup and go directly to an electrical contractor to do the work. So when it was realized it was not in their base scope, it would have been a change order to diversity. That was discovered sort of at the tail end of the project when they were finishing with their HVAC work. They said, well, we're not providing or doing any other reinstallation, either new or reinstallation of old, because that's not in the base scope. That was part of the alternate. So that's the reason. That's essentially the reason why.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions from the committee? All right. I just have one, and it's kind of a general comment or question for Mark. I think between this and we have three additional change orders we're considering today?
Two. The one was approved.
Two adds and one back charge, right?
Well, no, the one ad was approved with your executive power. I just included that again on this one because that kind of makes up the overall change order.
Got it. Okay. So considering all of these this evening, should the committee approve all of them, would we still be within budget for the overall project as well as
FEMA? Yes.
Within the FEMA
correct
threshold. Okay.
Correct. You have more contingency than the FEMA limit. So yes. You're going to be around $35,000 above the FEMA limit.
Below the FEMA limit.
Above. Well, yes. You could spend up to another $35,000 before you hit the limit.
Right.
Let me phrase it that way, so we don't get the above and below.
All right. So if there are no other questions from the committee, we'll move to vote on this. And I guess
we just need a motion
to approve.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve this change order from Yankee Electric in the amount of $7,345 for new stage lighting. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Okay, fine.
Thanks, Rich.
I second it.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Comments? All right. Not hearing any. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. It's unanimous. Moving on, the next change order.
Let's get the easy one out of the way. Yes.
Okay.
It'll be Diversity's PCO 9. This is for, as we discussed at the last meeting, this is for Fuss & O'Neill's time. This is a back charge from Fuss & O'Neill to Diversity for their time when they showed up on site and Diversity was not ready for them. It was more. It was twice as much. But Diversity spoke with Fuss & O'Neill and they agreed to cut it to 50%. This is so the total back charge from Fuss & O'Neill to Diversity is $460. This will need to be, it's kind of twofold. We need to approve it to increase Fuss & O'Neill's contract, but in turn, approve it to decrease diversity's contract. Because we don't have another vehicle, because diversity does not have a contractual relationship with Fuss and O'Neill. They have no way of paying them. The contract runs through the town, so you would have to increase Fuss and O'Neill's contract to pay them.
And then, got it. Okay. So embedded in this or attached to diversity's change order is the actual proposal from Fuss and O'Neill, and we'll essentially need to consider that first and then consider diversity's and then consider the back charge to diversity, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially simultaneous, but yes.
Okay. All right, well, let's,
I understand
keep it clear. I think sorry, one sec, Rich. I think just to keep it clear, I would like to keep it as two separate motions, one, or two separate actions, I should say. So, the first to approve the Fuss and O'Neill invoice for what essentially is an additional service, and then the change order for the back charge to diversity. So that said, Rich, you had a question or comment?
Yeah. Before we get to yes. Mark, I don't know if you know this. Do you know how many men showed up for the $400 and some odd? Is that one man or two men?
That's one person.
And it was one person. Okay.
Yeah, it was one person. They actually showed up twice. They showed up at 8 o'clock as diversity scheduled. Diversity was not ready for them. Diversity told them to come back at noon. They came back at noon, and they weren't ready again for them.
Okay, more than fair, because if it was that $400 for the what? Okay, there's a rhyme and reason to my question. I know the business. I know what billing is appropriate, what isn't, and based on what you just told me, I will second the motion to pay the invoice as submitted. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's an official motion, but we might as well go ahead and do that now. So to start, I will make a motion to approve, I guess, the purchase order 1900484-2-00 from Fuss and O'Neill for $460.00. I have a second.
I second that.
All right. Thanks, Rich. Any additional questions, comments from the committee? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Jenna, are you on mute, or did I miss you?
I eyed when someone else eyed. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. So, okay. And
coincidence a lot.
Subsequently, I will make a motion to approve PCO number 9 to Diversity Construction Group, which is a credit change order in the same amount of $460.00. Do I have a second?
I second that. I second it.
All right. Any questions, comments? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Jenna,
did I hear you?
Again, same time. Aye.
Okay, sorry. All right, thank you. All right, it's unanimous. All right. Next item, or the next change order, I guess, is PCO 8, which is, I believe, the one you're referring to, or you referred to earlier, Mark, that we approved at the last meeting under my executive order, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And that was for. And then the last one is PCO 5R. This has been the long outstanding one. The initial PCO that was approved was for the wiring of the panels from the switchgear to the panels. The committee approved not to exceed $87,056.97. After the work was complete, Diversity vetted the tickets, resubmitted the PCO as PCO 5 for a total of $86,002.26. It was vetted by SPA. There were 3 items that they questioned. There was correspondence that went back and forth over the last couple months. We sat down last Monday, had a meeting. Sherman Petroselli was on the call. Members of the building committee were on the call. I was on the call. Diversity was on the call, and we went item by item. The electrical engineer provided guide numbers for what each of these 3 items was worth. It totaled $6,000. Diversity was agreeable to take the credit for that. And so they resubmitted their PCO 5 for $7,000. So the ultimate PCO for the electrical distribution will total $80,056.97 with the $7,000 credit.
Got it. All right. Thank you for that explanation. I will make a motion to approve this credit change order. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Rich. Any questions, comments from the committee? All right. Not hearing any. All those in favor of approving this change order, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Unanimous. Thank you all. All right.
Now, all told, the 3 PCOs, the one that got approved at the last meeting, and then these 2 PCOs will ultimately turn into owner change order 3 for a credit of $5,615.70. And that's just the 3 PCOs combined.
Is that part of the $35,000 override? Underride.
Yeah. Yeah. I have included
it's factored into that number you quoted earlier.
Correct.
Got it.
Because we're at 37 before in January, and there have been no other change orders approved except for the ones tonight. $7,000 for Yankee, and minus $5,000 for Diversity. So.
All right.
That's where I came up with the $35,000.
Okay, thank you.
My only question would be to Gerald is if the committee has to approve the owner change order or the amount in the owner change order or just by approving the PCOs, that would be sufficient?
I should approve the change order.
Okay. So we don't have a piece of paper for it because the PCOs just got approved, but it will be the owner change order for diversity would be for a credit of $5,615.70.
It'll be.
And Mark, can you just restate what three things go into that number?
Yep. It'll be for, we'll do the easy one, PCO 5, which is a credit of $7,000. And then PCO 9, which is a credit of $460. And then PCO 8 will be an add of $1,844.30.
So I guess the question is, can we approve this change order without actually having the piece of paper?
Well, you have the.
Or is it de facto approved because we approved all the PCOs?
It's de facto approved because you approved the PCOs already, and it's just the compilation of those three PCOs.
Okay.
The reason I bring it up is I don't want to have to come back for another meeting in 2 weeks to approve it. So
and purchasing will confirm. It'll be confirmed by purchasing anyhow.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
right,
need
Gerald?
to be.
So this is Gerald Foley. Yeah. So at previous building committee meetings, the PCOs are approved, and then at a subsequent meeting, the change order is brought back, and then they approve the change order.
If you need an official approval on a change order, then my suggestion would be just to reach out to Eric because this amount of money is under his purview.
Yes, we could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And it's going to need to be incorporated into the final invoice from Diversity anyway, right?
It isn't. Well, no, it's incorporated into the final. This change order is incorporated into this application.
But we don't have a final application in front of us tonight.
Yes,
from
you
Diversity.
do. Yes, we do. It was sent out last night.
Oh. Am I? All right. Well, I'm looking at the list, and it wasn't included in there. Hold on. Let me go back to your emails. So it wasn't in the main invoice packet. You sent it in a separate email, Mark?
Correct. At 6:22 last night.
All right. Sorry, I'm still looking for it. I see your see your invoice log for diversity.
It was a minute before that is when I sent the invoice packet.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah, you sent one and then you sent the revised, right? The revised.
I sent the original in the morning with the 6 invoices, and in the body I noted that diversity would be coming in late.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. So there are no more PCOs, right? So we can move into invoices now.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
So, all right. This first one is from Diversity. Invoice number 9 in the amount of $127,469.01. And this equates to the final payment application and the release of 100% of the funds to Diversity.
Correct.
All right.
Sorry, is that the right amount? I don't have it open in front of me, but I have a different number written down in my notes. It's 120 some, not 90 some.
It is it's line 8, and it's $127,469.01.
Thank you.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve this invoice?
It's Meredith. I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Meredith. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you, Jenna. All right. I'll open up to questions, comments from the committee. Any questions or comments on this invoice?
No.
All right. All right. All in favor of approving this invoice, say aye.
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 All right. It's unanimous. Okay. Next invoice is from Silver Petroselli in the invoice number 20-2959 in the amount of $293. I will make a motion to approve this invoice. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Rich. Any questions, comments from the committee? One question I have is Dave, does this constitute the final invoice from Silver Petroselli?
Yes, it does.
All right. Thank you. Any additional questions, comments? All right. All those in favor of approving this invoice, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. It's unanimous. Next invoice is from Collier's Project Leaders, invoice number 8195, in the amount of $4,450.04. I'll make a motion to approve this invoice.
I'll second it. I second it.
All right. Thank you, Rich. Any questions, comments from the committee? One from me. Mark, is this same question as I asked Dave? Final invoice from Collier's?
I will caveat mine by saying that if there's any OSC GNR work that is required, but on the base project, yes, this is the final invoice.
All right. Thank you. All right. All those in favor of approving this invoice, say aye. Aye.
I have a question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Rich.
Sal, do you have all the books, the paraphernalia, mechanically speaking, that you need?
Hang on a second, please.
Sal, you're very faint.
Hang on a second. I'm sorry,
I didn't hear him.
My speaker. I'm sorry, I just lost my connection. Can you repeat?
I'm just. I want to be sure that we don't have to. That you've gotten all of the warranties on the equipment and procedures, all of the mechanical data that you need.
Yes, we got what we need from Diversity. We got what we need from Silver Petrocelli. We got what we need from Collier's with the stipulation that Mark did make about OSCG and R. We do have to.
Wait, I can't hear you. What? That's my concern. Does Collier's have everything to you? That's before we approve this.
And we have to do the final filing for the state reimbursement. So that is some paperwork that Mark alluded to.
Okay, so the. All right, Mark, you owe us that, apparently, right, Mark?
That is
Mark
on top. That is on top of the base service. That's what I was alluding to.
That's additional monies then, is what you're talking about.
Yes, that was already approved for OSCG and R services.
Oh, okay. You said the magic words already. Okay, so then you are at.
Right.
That was my concern. You answered my concern.
Right. He can't do that OSCG and R closeout services until we get to this point. So it's his, I don't know, capstone.
Yeah, I understand. I know. I've been through this a few times. I just want to be sure that we don't have to form someplace way down in the future to get him paid on something that's
correct.
Legit.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
All right. You answered me. I can vote aye on that, Eric. So I just wanted to ask that question. So you have my aye, okay? So that's the end of the vote is at this point, right? Eric?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, Meredith, did you get all of the votes counted before Rich asked this question?
Yeah, Jen and I both said aye, and did you, Eric?
I did, yep.
Okay.
And Rich is an aye as well.
Yep.
Okay.
We're
great.
Good. Thanks.
Okay. All right, next invoice is from Fuss & O'Neill, invoice number 226113 in the amount of $460, which I believe we approved earlier, but I guess I guess we approved this earlier, so we don't need to vote again.
Well, no, you approved it to increase their PO, but you didn't vote on the invoice.
On the invoice, got it. Okay, all right. So I'll make a motion to approve this invoice.
I second it.
Thank you, Rich. Any questions, comments from the committee? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anna?
I'm sorry, I did at the same time. Someone else again. Aye.
All right. Thank you. It's unanimous. Next invoice also from Fussin O'Neill in the amount of $950. I'll make a motion to approve this invoice. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Special seconded.
All right. Thank you, Rich. Any questions, comments from the committee? Not hearing any. All those in favor of approving this invoice say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all. Good job staggering your eyes.
Very good job.
I think I'm just always the last.
Somebody making sure it happens. That's what he's doing. All right.
All right. The tricks we need to learn when working remotely, huh?
So true.
Yeah.
All right. The next invoice also from Fussin O'Neill on an amount of invoice number 229153 in the amount of $1,283. I'll make a motion to approve this invoice. Do I have a second?
I'll second it as well.
All right. Thank you, Rich. Any questions, comments from the committee? All right. I'm hearing any. All those in favor of approving this invoice say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all. Once again, unanimous. And the last invoice is from Safety Marking, invoice number 9132829 in the amount of $1,495.00. I'll make a motion to approve this invoice. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Aye. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from the committee? All right. All those in favor of approving this invoice say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all. All right. That was the last invoice. All right. So the next item on the agenda is old business, which includes an update on the potential plaque and ceremony. Patrice is not in attendance tonight. Does any other member of the committee or Gerald have any updates on this item?
Yeah, hi, this is Gerald Foley. Yes, I reached out to Patrice earlier today just to follow up with her on the plaque, and I haven't heard back from her. What her and I had left it was she was gathering the information, and that when she had the information, she was going to forward it to me. So her and I have been playing tag back and forth with emails. So I'm anticipating I'll probably hear from her tomorrow or the next day on the plaque.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Gerald. Next item is new business. Is there any new business anyone on the committee would like to raise? One thing I would like to raise is, and it's been alluded to a couple times this evening, is OSC GNR. Given that the committee has now approved all open invoices on the job, whether it be the main contract with diversity or even some of the subsequent work with Yankee and line striping and what have you. I am of the belief that there are no outstanding invoices at this time, with the exception of maybe some hourly work from Colliers as part of the OSCG&R process, and maybe Silver Petrocelli as well. But I guess the question I'll pose it to Sal, but if anyone else wants to chime in, feel free, is what are the next steps with OSCG&R and pursuing the state reimbursement?
This is Sal Morbido. Thanks for the question. The next step is Board of Ed acceptance of the of the project as complete. With that, there'll be some spreadsheets to do that Colliers does for us, along with a filing for reimbursement. And since we have the board acceptance, it would be our final, be our one and only filing for reimbursement and our final. So after that happens, the state would pay us not 89%, would pay our reimbursement on 89% of what we're owed, and it's supposed to be within 3 years, they would send the project to audit. They've been much faster about that these days. And that's basically it. So, and the audit ends up being done by both Gerald. Gerald participates in audits and the finance department. Usually we do not need to reach back to consultants for those audits. So it's truly just some paperwork that has to be filed and some accounting.
Okay. Just so out of curiosity, if they, once the BOE accepts the project is complete and we file the paperwork and the state approves it and they issue that, you said 89% of what's
it's a weird that they actually look at it almost think of it about as retention, and instead of 5% retention like we do with a contractor, they do 11%. God knows how they came up with that percentage. It is government. I don't understand how they got to that. But yeah, that's the number that they use.
Well, 100%.
And then once the audit is complete, they release the remaining 11%.
They send the check. Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
I have a question, Sal, if I may.
Sure.
Eric?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the 89% statewide, or is that county? How is that throughout?
So here's what we have. We have a project that's let's say that $2 million of our cost is reimbursable at our rate, which is roughly, I'll say 25%. So we're due 25% reimbursement on $2 million. So that's $500,000 we're expecting from the state. We will get 89% of that $500,000 within a couple of months of filing our paperwork, and then we would get 11%. Basically, what would that be? $55,000 at some time in the future when we perform an audit. So they would give us, in this scenario, $100,000, and then $55,000 later. After
Do you know Do you know if that's throughout the entire state, or is that county by county, or is it on the town?
Each municipality has its own reimbursement rate, but that retention, that 11% retention, that's law. That happens to everybody.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's interesting. Okay. So so if the 11% is law, what about the 89%?
Say that again?
What about the 89 that you're talking about?
They'll pay 89% of what you're due in with your final reimbursement application. And then that becomes the trigger for an audit, which is a different department.
Okay.
Got it. Sal, you sound like you've done this before.
Oh yeah, been there, done that. It's fun. Gerald's been along for the ride with on a few of them. But yeah, no, they're fun.
So, if there are liens against a school building or whatever, or whomever the lien, what happens then?
No, that has nothing to do with the. That has nothing to do with the reimbursement.
So, even though there might be a legitimate lien by a contractor, the state's still going to pay based on that figure?
Yeah, well, they're paying on the construction.
But the construction. There's a question about the construction. If something wasn't done right, or somebody didn't get paid, or something.
Yeah, they don't get into that. They
another way to waste their money. It's amazing.
Right.
Absolutely amazing.
Right.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. You wonder where it all goes. Slowly you find out. Okay. All right. Sorry. That's not you, Sal. I'm just. I have a job in West Haven that I can. Whatever. Okay. Thank you for the information. Sorry, kind of like I personalized this. I didn't mean to do that. Whatever. Eric, apologize.
No worries. It was a good question. And Sal, thank you for laying out the steps so succinctly. Just for everyone's information, I have corresponded with Christine Vitale this week and have started making arrangements to appear before the Board of Ed and request acceptance of the project. And it appears that we will likely be doing that in the April Board of Ed meeting, if not sooner, if there is a special meeting called by the Board of Ed. So just to give everyone a timeline on that, that's where we're looking.
So how does that work with our meeting structure then for the month of March?
At this point, I don't believe we would need to have another meeting in March. It's a good question whether or not we actually need to have any additional meetings. As far as the OSCG&R process goes, Sal, does the committee need to approve the release of the paperwork to OSCG&R? Is there any other action items that the committee needs to take?
No. You've done as far as OSCG&R, you've done your work. the work flips over to the Board of Eds, they have to do the motion. Yeah, we accept the project as complete. The state does look for that, but as far as the building committee is concerned, you've done your job. Unless the Board of Ed says no and yells at you, but I don't see that happening.
Eric, you might have to have a special meeting for the plaque. That might be it, I think.
Okay.
So I would hold that option open, that or enter it into the minutes that the workload has been concluded, however you want to phrase it, with the possible exception of a special meeting to of the current membership or something like that.
Okay. Okay. So I'll touch base with Patty and get an update from her on that, and if we need to reconvene for that one item, we will. But I think in the meantime, given the fact that we still are calendared for our semi-monthly meetings, Meredith will just have to make sure we are
again, if I could just,
when we're not meeting.
Yeah. I wouldn't dissolve the committee at this particular point because I know the difficulties of putting together a committee. I would maintain the committee, the existence of the committee, and the states that, for the record, until it is officially dissolved at some future date, or something like that. That's my opinion. Just
yeah, no, I would agree with you. We'll keep it open for the time being, but
right.
Just likely not need to meet, like you said, with the exception of just to resolve this last item.
Right. You don't want to dissolve the committee at this juncture because it's, like I said, it's too difficult to reconstruct the whole thing if there's a real need for it.
Right.
Okay.
I'll touch base with you, Eric, within the next 2 weeks and see if we're going to meet in 2 weeks about the plaque or not.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and at a minimum, I think we should, as Rich said, we should probably remain intact as a committee at least until the Board of Ed has accepted accepted the project as complete. So
yes.
Whether that happens within the next 2 weeks or not, we'll see. But for the time being, we'll remain intact, and it's nice to essentially be done. So I'd like to thank all the members of the committee and Sal and Mark and Dave and Christine and Gerald and everyone who has been along for the ride over the last 2 years. It's been a pleasure, quite honestly. So I thank you all, and I thank you all for your patience in dealing with me as a first-time committee member and chairman. And it's been a pleasure. So thank you.
I'll second that.
Well put.
All right.
Without getting all
Thank you.
Now that you're all misty,
That's right.
now that you're misty-eyed. Now, from the it's Sal again. From the
school side, we appreciate all the work that both you and all the other building committee members have done for us, along with our consultants, Silver Petroselli and Colliers, that worked very hard to make this project a success. It's always appreciated, and it's always bittersweet at the end, because it's just like you're so used to meeting and having this on your schedule and having it as part of your life. So we appreciate you giving up that time for the betterment of the school.
Absolutely.
I second that.
It's an honor. Yeah. All right. So I guess with that, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
I second that motion.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Right.
Good
Thank
night.
you all.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. All right.